Hi there, Rancho del Lago 2021, and I'm CheryLynn. Back again. Thank you for being here. It's always good to know that you're tuning in to see what's happening at the homestead. Today we're going to talk a little bit about what it is to feel like a homesteader, someone who loves the land, and how meaningful it is to leave a smaller footprint, to disturb the earth less, to give back to it while it's giving to you. And I think that that is a magnet that draws many of us to become homesteaders. So if you enjoy the content of the videos that I provide for you, please subscribe and share with your friends. It is quite a gorgeous day today. We've had several days of gray skies and rain. I don't know how people do it coming from or living up north, where you have not just days but weeks and months of gray skies and snow and rain and sleet and all of those inclement things. I lived in Florida all my life, where the majority of the time there is sunshine. And one of the reasons I moved to this area, Chapala, Mexico, is because it's very much like Florida in that respect. There's lots of sunshine. But just like the nasty Hurricane Helene that came in over Florida off of the Gulf and cut a very wide, destructive path through Florida and Georgia and the Carolinas and Tennessee and Kentucky, with winds and rain enough to kill over 60 people and break dams and overflow rivers and wipe out homes and cities and communities. It was a mess. Well, we had one here off the coast of Mexico in the Pacific Ocean that came out of the Pacific and walloped at a Cat 3 just east of Acapulco. Then after it traveled up the coast just a smudge, it went back out to sea, stopped, reversed, and came right back onto land again as a 1 this time. Traveled up the coast a little bit and then off the coast a little bit more. And during those several days of it working its way up the Mexican coastline, we had gray skies and rain. Because even though we are protected by mountain ranges between us and the coast so that we don't actually get hurricanes here, we still will get the very, very high cloud bands and the rain that comes with them, and occasionally gusts of wind up into the 20s and maybe even low 30s, but that's not very often. So, yeah, the weather has been nasty, and today the sky is blue and the clouds are out again, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I would say, without looking it up, it's probably in the area of 80 in the shade, maybe even as low as 78 and 82 in the sun. Just the kind of day that if you wanted to say this would be a perfect day for me, it would be pretty close. We here at the homestead, just like all other homesteaders, we're looking to treat the earth kindly and hopefully get treated back kindly by the earth as much as possible. We want to leave a small footprint. We want to walk gently and kindly and treat the earth good. And with all of the weather changes that have been taking place and the climate deniers, I think that it probably would have been in my childhood years that we should have, as a global community, started doing things to benefit the earth instead of to destroy it. And maybe if we had started that many decades ago, 5 or 6 decades ago, we would have had a chance. But we have done so much destruction at this point that I think we're just in for it. We're in for whatever Mother Earth gives us. and we need to deal with it the best way we can. I've noticed just in the 6.5 years that I've been here that the hot months are vastly hotter. The drought is much longer. Things like trying to get good green grass hay or alfalfa hay for our goats and rabbits, it's harder and harder to find, so we have to find substitutes. I don't have a big enough piece of property to sustain a herd of goats on just forage. So we need to feed them hay and pellets or some form of grain to give them enough nutrition. I just see the things changing so much. Now, last year was the first year that we had a flood significant enough to leave my property, if not several inches underwater in places, to at least be really mucky and slushy in the other places. And this year, the intense rain that we had was even harder and longer and deeper than it was last year. And I'm going to show you some pictures of that right here on videos that I took. We've just had 2 solid hours of very hard rain. I'm stepping outside and it's still sprinkling, but I just want you to see the flooding that is, oh my word, the flooding. Everything is flooded. Look at the side of my yard. I think this is worse than the flood we had last year. I'm just shocked. Over into the field next to us. This is crazy. This is probably a good 8 inches deep here, and probably at least a foot deep over here. I hope it doesn't damage my trees, but it will go down quickly. Oh, this is nuts. So the bottom line is that things change. We can't count on constants anymore. Floods happen where floods didn't happen in the last 1,000 years. Fires happen on a regular basis where they used to be maybe once every 5 or 10 years. Earthquakes, hurricanes, and hurricanes are more intense and maybe not more frequent, but I know even when I left Florida 6.5 years ago, we were having many, far more than my whole life in Florida, that were called as Cat 5s. And even if they were a Cat 4 when they reached land, we just didn't have that kind of activity even out in the ocean and the Gulf that was that strong. But the water's getting hotter, and that's a big cause of it. The water's getting hotter because of maybe not totally what mankind does, because I do believe that the earth has gone through cycles before. But I think what we as a species have done is to speed it up. What we're going through now may not have happened for another 100 years or 500 years, but it's happening now, and it's getting worse because we're killing off the beneficial things and leaving nothing but the detrimental things that make it hard for the earth to recover. Very much like how we treat our bodies on a much smaller scale. You do bad things to it, and it's probably not going to last as long, and if it does, it's not going to be in very good condition. The whole thing is, the circle of life. We, as homesteaders, generally understand that circle of life and try to treat it better. So what am I doing here? What are we doing here to improve that circle of life, at least for ourselves? Because it all starts at home. We raise our own meat. I would love to have raise a calf, but we don't have the ground to sustain that. So we have, goats and turkeys and ducks and chicken and geese and rabbits, and that's 6 different kinds of meat that we can use. And from that, we can also use eggs. And if I wanted to, I could go out and milk goats, but I don't. I just let the goats raise their babies. But that could change anytime. We have the capability of raising many kinds of vegetables and edibles for ourselves. I've started many kinds of trees that will produce things for us. I definitely need help on gardening, though. I'm learning, but it's a slow learn for me. It's like learning a language. For me, growing things and learning different languages just don't come naturally. So I really have to put myself out there to accomplish those things. We live in a community where there are a lot of small mom and pop, we call them tiendas, but little stores, where fresh vegetables from the farmer's market are available. And we have berry farms all around the lake. And, there's just all kinds of things that are grown here that are non-HMO, and many that are not sprayed, some that are, but you can try and stay away from those as much as you can. So I think in general, it's a healthier life that we live here. All around. We have a better grasp as a homesteader of life and death and, seasons, and that groceries just don't come from the grocery store. There's a beginning that's behind the scenes, and somebody has to take care of that part. I think that also puts us into closer touch with appreciating the beauty. The definition in the clouds in the sky today is like something I would paint. God's a far better painter than I am. The deep sky, the lush greens of the things that are growing with the abundance of rain that we have now. Colors, we don't just have green or blue. There are hundreds of shades of each. You don't just hear the voice of one cow or one goat. You know the difference in voices from one to the other. And you know the difference between the sounds the geese make and the sounds the ducks make. You are so much more attuned to nature, I think, because we get in it. We get in it with our bare feet and with our hands. And there's nothing grounding as much as getting in it. Let me show you a little bit about what's going on right now with the bunny rabbits. We have 3 litters due, and I need to go and prepare some nests. We just use plastic bins and cut a hole in the side and leave the top on. Put some straw in there, and then the mama bunnies will go in and rearrange the straw the way they want them. Pull some fur and make a nice little cozy bed for the new babies where she will birth them. And then the fur acts as an insulator. If it's cold outside, it will keep them warmer, and if it's hot outside, it will keep them cooler. And that's why we all need bunny fur coats. After the new babies are born, I'll give you some pictures. But right now, these little guys, these aren't so little, these are big little guys. These two, they're 30 days old. I do a 30-day rotation on my breeding for the rabbits. First, I breed some mamas, and their gestation is 28 to 30 days. When they have their babies, I breed 3 more rabbits. So when the new babies are 30 days old, then I breed 3 more rabbits. Then we actually have 3 generations of rabbits, newborns, 30 days, and 60 days. And when they're 60 days old, these little guys will move over to the teenage dormitories, where they will, within the next week or 2 after moving here, we try to sex them and move the girls with the girls and the boys with the boys. And that is our production line. These will be processed unless I need a new doe or a new buck for any reason, and I will carefully select from these to make sure that we don't have inbreeding within the same line. And here's the other batch of bunnies that we have right now that are growing. I know you've seen them in previous videos. Hello, hello, little ones. 3 little whites and a brownie gray one here. And they're growing too. These tinier ones are actually a few days older than the larger ones. It just depends on the breed of the rabbit. And the larger ones are from a big daddy, so that stands to reason. So we have down here on the bottom a little brown one who is a real furry around the face. We call that a lion head. And she's due to have some. And that's from that set of 4 cages. Then over here in this set of 4 cages, we have this mama down here. And in this set of 4 cages, we have this dark colored mama over here. And we shall see within the next 3 or 4 days what we end up with. This, by the way, is my first very big Myers lemon starting to ripen, and I have several more on the tree that are growing. Excited about that. Well, this is Nicky. Nicky's going to be our daddy for this season, and he's such a sweet boy. He had a little bit of sickness when he came to us, and we got that taken care of, and he's grown to be a big, healthy boy. And all the rest of these in here are little girls. We have 10 altogether. Here comes Sugar. She's the grand matriarch, the oldest one of the whole crowd. But she still has babies, and they're good babies. Don't you, Shug? Huh? Yes, sweet girl. Yes. And then we have a couple more little stragglers over here who just don't feel like partying today. But altogether, we have 10. 2 boys, one of them's a baby, and Mr. Nicky. And then 8 does who will be blessing us with babies come the spring. Now, the mama that is over there, she's the one that had triplets for us this spring in March. We were so excited. Triplets, yay. I know they're not common, but they're not really rare. But we were very excited, I have to say that. Ever vigilant guard dog, Nana, watching her goats, making sure that they're all okay over there, and relaxing in the shade. We are going to be getting a new boy turkey here very soon because sadly we were trying to nurse back to health the injured boy turkey that we had, and he expired on us. I thought he was getting better, and I can only guess that he must have had internal injuries I did not know about. He looked like he was fading in color on his neck and head, so he could have been losing blood and even been anemic, but that's part of what we go through. We lose some and then we gain some. So just recently, and I probably said something about this in the blog, but I don't think I said anything in one of my previous videos. I just recently bought an incubator and a brooder warming plate so I can start hatching eggs. Initially, I'm going to work on chicken and duck eggs, and then we'll see about integrating turkeys and geese if I can get the right pairings of males and females so that we can get eggs. Here's a look at our 7 wonderful resident cats as we say goodbye. Thanks for watching.